Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. Hello, it's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be tasting bacon in a can and cheese in a can and butter in a can. Did you know that you could get butter in a can? I had no idea. So the initial idea for this video was for me to simply taste bacon in a can, which is odd enough as it is. But then I found these other canned items, dairy items, butter and cheese. Both of these are international items. The cheese, called Bega processed cheese, comes from Australia, and the pure creamery butter comes from New Zealand. I find this absolutely fascinating that I've lived this entire life of mine without knowing that you could get these two products. So when I found those two things, I thought, well, gee, that sounds a lot like breakfast. So I picked up some ham too, and this is Dax premium ham, and this comes from Denmark. And then I also got myself some crystal eggs, which I've actually had before on a camping trip. These are great, super lightweight. You just add a little bit of water and beat them all up and you get instant scrambled egg stuff or omelet stuff. I find it very interesting that they chose to call this egg crystals though. Does that make it more appealing than egg powder or something? And because it wouldn't be breakfast without a little bit of bread, I also picked up this, and this is Bridgeford white flatbread. So let's begin with this, since this was the catalyst for this entire video. This is Yoders Bacon. It unabashedly says smoke flavor added. And this must be refrigerated after opening. This was not inexpensive. This can of bacon cost $20. 9 ounces of bacon. It says ingredients: pork, water, salt, sugar, smoke flavoring, sodium phosphate, sodium ascorbate, sodium nitrate. This is made by Yoders out of Burkittsville, Ohio. Now it feels pretty lightweight for a can, and I am assuming that the bacon is going to be cooked, but let's find out. Give this, ooh, nice hiss. Pop that lid. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I don't think I've ever gotten a canned food product that contains paper. Do you see that? Ooh, and now I'm getting a very strong bacony smell. It smells a lot like Bacos or Bacon bits. You know, those little bits that you put on salad sometimes? Yeah, and it smells a little bit like potted meat too. That little porky smell. Very strong smoked flavor though, kind of like liquid smoke, but it does say that smoke flavor was added, so shouldn't be surprised on that. Oh, okay, just give it some swift shakes. There we go. There's my bacon can. There's a little bit of bacon fat at the bottom. There it is. I don't know really what I was expecting, but I wasn't really expecting this. Look at this. So interesting. So the paper keeps the pieces of bacon separate. There's a lot of bacon in here. All right, so $20 worth, let's see. So unroll this. I'm gonna put this on a cookie sheet so you can see it better. So there is the bacon sheets. Wow, look at that. And that looks like totally cooked bacon. Wow, there's actually a lot of bacon in there. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. $20, okay. So look, there are 3 layers of bacon. Holy smokes. Smokes, did you get that? Smokes. So there are 3 layers of bacon in there. That's pretty impressive, okay. And each layer has 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pieces. So there are 36 pieces of bacon in that one can. So this looks a lot like the bacon that you can find in the deli section that's pre-cooked and comes in those plastic bags. It looks exactly like that. It's not exactly crisp, but it's dried out. Most of the fat has rendered out. But I think if you were to toss this into a frying pan, you can get a little bit of crispness. If you get some of that fat out of it, you could just give that a quick little heat fry and get a little bit of crispness if you need it. So I'm gonna taste this as part of the entire breakfast. So let me grab my plate. I'm gonna put a couple slices of the bacon here, but so far pretty impressed with that. All right, 2 slices of bacon. Okay, so we're gonna need bread for our next product. So let's go ahead and open up the Bridgeford white bread. So Bridgeford is the American company that makes many of the bread products that you find in MREs. So to be honest, I haven't been too impressed with my previous tastings of Bridgeford breads. I think it's pretty challenging to make a bread that is shelf stable for so long. Oh, all right, so there it is. Do not eat that. And this looks a lot like the breads that I've found in my previous MREs. It is very, very dense. It does smell yeasty and bread-like, but it doesn't look all that much like bread. Pretty dense. I'll go ahead and add that to my plate. Here is the Bega processed cheese, the Great Australian cheese made in Australia. It contains cheese, that's good, rennet, water, an emulsifier, butter, salt, acid regulators. Great. So it looks like it's in Arabic as well. Ooh, look at that. And that is pretty perfect. It looks exactly like the lid of the can. It's very firm, a little bit gelatinous. It does smell a lot like American cheese slices. Ooh, look at that side. Interesting. Okay. Okay, there's the cheese. Let's see if we can reconstruct it. Now let's open the butter. Now this can is gorgeous. This is Red Feather brand pure creamery butter. And this is made in New Zealand. In the ingredients, pasteurized cream and salt. Lovely. But I love that it's shelf stable, right? It's so great. You don't have to refrigerate it, just at least while it's canned. All right, here it is. Oh my gosh, look at that. And that's butter. Ah, beautiful pale yellow in color. Looks like butter. Let's see if it smells like butter. It does smell like butter. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right next to that. These are Ova Easy egg crystals. Ova Easy, get it? Dried egg product. And you're supposed to mix, in general, 2 parts of Ova Easy with 3 parts of water by volume. This contains whole eggs and both egg yolks and egg whites that have been dried. 1 egg is 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Odd, it is kind of crystally. That's so weird. Now we're supposed to add 6 tablespoons of water. 5 and 6. Okay, mix that up for our egg. Oh wow, it's actually getting kind of familiarly thick, kind of like eggs. It feels more pasty and gluey than fresh, cracked, scrambled eggs, but it does have a little bit of gelness to it. Interesting. Alrighty, so I got my cast iron skillet all heated up here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of my canned butter. Wow, it feels like butter. It's melting like butter. And now I'm gonna add my rehydrated egg crystals. There we go. Interesting. It's cooking up just like scrambled eggs. And add a pinch of salt and pepper. All right. Oh my gosh. Yep, that'd be scrambled eggs. All right, so here's the moment we've all been waiting for, the taste of the canned food breakfast. It actually looks pretty good, spread all out like this. All right, let's taste the bacon first. Itadakimasu. That is super, super salty and has the same flavor and exact same consistency of those pre-cooked bacon strips that you can buy next to the sliced meat section in your grocery store. exactly the same. There's a very strong, pronounced, smoky flavor to this, very similar to bacon bits. It's a bit heavy-handed and over the top, but for something that came out of a can and that looks like this, still pretty impressive. Let's try the Bridgeford bread. And in my past experience, cutting the bread like this really helps because it's really dense. So look at that dough center. Yeah, it smells very yeasty. So I'm sure this would be better toasted, but we're roughing it, so I'm not gonna toast it. Now this butter so far I've been very impressed with. The consistency is just like butter, it smells like butter, it fries like butter. Let's see how it tastes. I'm gonna put a generous smear on this bread. There we go. Mmm. And the butter tastes pretty good. It tastes like butter. It has a great buttery flavor. It's salted, so it's nicely seasoned. The bread is a little bit odd, but it's totally what I expected when it comes for these Bridgeford breads. They're very dense. They have a very hard kind of crumb. They do taste yeasty, and they're reminiscent of bread. It's just not real bread. But with butter on it, it's a whole lot better. I'm impressed with the canned butter. Yes, yes, yes. It tastes like butter. It's a little bit salted, has a really great buttery flavor. It spreads nicely. It doesn't taste tinned at all. I'm very, very impressed with the Red Feather brand canned butter. All right, let's give the cheese a taste. So the cheese has a very interesting texture. It's kind of similar to Velveeta. It's kind of plasticky, soft. Let's just try a little bit of it plain first. Ooh. Very, very salty. It is cheese after all. And it does taste like processed cheese food or Velveeta, but it has a nice little bit of tanginess to it, almost a little bit more yogurty. You know what it reminds me a lot of? There's little tiny cubes of cheese that are wrapped in foil, or the little tiny cheese wheels that are wrapped in red wax. Very, very similar flavor, consistency, a little bit more tangy. I'm gonna put a piece of this in the microwave and see how well it melts for just like a second. Then, oh my gosh, yes, look. Whoa, hot, 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 hot. And look, it melts beautifully. And the bread actually gets really soft. I don't think I've ever heated up the Bridgeford bread like that. Yeah, now it smells like more like nacho cheese. All right, let's give that a taste without burning the roof off of my mouth. Here we go. That's where it's at. You gotta heat this cheese up a bit. It's more like fondue at that point. Much better than Velveeta cheese, in my opinion. Much more flavorful. I like that little bit of tanginess to it. All right, let's try our egg crystals. They have the same consistency as scrambled eggs. It smells like scrambled eggs too. All right, here we go. Tastes like scrambled eggs too, particularly when fried with butter. Those are great. I've had those before, love those. Those are especially good when you're camping or have gone on a long hike. Very, very familiar protein in terms of flavor, consistency, everything. You just add a little bit of water. Great familiar source of protein, great flavor. Awesome. I almost forgot to open my can of ham. Look at this. I'm just gonna have that straight up. Wow, that's a lot denser than, say, Spam. This is fully cooked, ready to eat, great for camping, but it says to serve hot, heat in 325-degree oven for 15 minutes per pound until the temperature reaches 130 degrees. You can glaze it and stud it with cloves and sprinkle with brown sugar and baste with pan drippings. Looks like the grains of meat are a little bit coarser than, say, potted meat. All right, let's give that a taste. And that's not bad. Not as salty as, say, Spam, and I like the consistency better than Spam. Spam has a very homogeneous kind of grain to it. This has a little bit more bite, a little bit more texture, a little bit more like sausage. It's not bad. It tastes a bit like Vienna sausages or potted meat. It has that kind of cooked porky flavor. It doesn't have a lot of smokiness to it, but I imagine if you were to put this in the oven and reheat it that way, maybe that more of that flavor would come out. But I actually prefer this kind of neutral flavor of ham rather than the over-the-top smokiness of that bacon. That just tastes a little bit too artificial. But yeah, this isn't bad at all. And I think pan-fried with a little bit of crispness on it would be pretty excellent. All right, so there you have it. That was breakfast in a can. I had canned bacon, canned butter, canned cheese, powdered eggs, shelf-stable bread, and then canned ham. And all in all, I have to say I was pretty impressed with both the flavors and textures of everything. Granted, it's not fresh, but for something that is shelf-stable, still pretty impressive and very satisfying. The one thing I am missing is a little bit of greenery. If there was just a little bit of salad or something, then I think it'd be pretty stinking good. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Let me know if there's other videos that you'd like to see, what you'd like me to taste, and I will see you in my next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! I'm gonna have some buttered toast.